So we're a few months down the line from the Pixel 9 launch, and those of you out there with the Pixel 6 might be thinking, should I upgrade? You're coming to the end of your contract and looking at that device. Well, here's everything you need to know, and if it's worth making the switch. So you can immediately see just how the Pixel has evolved since the introduction of that camera bar design with the Pixel 6 series. And I think there's a little of the original flavour, but the new trim on the new model, plus a few little nips and tucks here and there to those bulky areas, makes a big difference. It's almost a makeover in all of the best ways. And it's these chassis and shape changes that I think make the most difference. The Pixel 6 feels a lot bigger in the hand than the Pixel 9, despite sharing those similar display sizes and resolutions. That's 6.4 inches versus 6.3 inches. Google has chopped and cut at the bezels, and it's still retained that 6.3 inch panel on the smaller phone, and you'd be hard pressed to notice where that 0.1 inch decrease has disappeared to for what it's worth. So moving away from the blocky shape to a rounded rectangle also helps the ergonomics. It seems counterintuitive, but it does. The flatter sides are easier to maneuver and handle one-handed. Obviously you have a smaller device as well. The just smaller uniform bezels are also a bonus thrown in for good measure. Even the side buttons are in a better position, making them just a little bit more simple and easier to reach because they're lower in that side frame on the right side of the phone. I think as well the materials used are a big step up. The Pixel 6 is a well-built phone, but it feels a lot cheaper and does have, it does have those playful colour options and that colour palette as well, which I will lament, I did really like them. Google has definitely though paid closer attention to the details of the Pixel 9 series. I think it represents a big step up in the quality and consistency, and they've learned from some of the mistakes with those previous generations, the Pixel 6, 7 and even the 8 series. I think the floating camera island is the only protrusion on the 9 of any note, and while there is an iPhone-like quality to the design, it actually works. It's substantially lighter as well without sacrificing much screen real estate or even that internal battery capacity, something that you're probably looking at from afar and wondering, will it make a difference? I do think the Pixel 6 had a fine screen for its time. It was the only flat screen available in the 2021 lineup, and that's one of the reasons why I suggested it to people. But the Pixel 9 panel absolutely blows the Pixel 6's screen away. The improved refresh rate means that things feel a lot smoother, and it's something I instantly noticed when coming back to the Pixel 6, and the experience is undoubtedly slick when using that 9 and that 120Hz refresh rate versus the 90Hz on the Pixel 6 series. You get a vastly superior maximum brightness level as well. The 6 is only capable of 800 nits, while it's a supposed 2050 nits on the Pixel 9 series, and I think this is the most major upgrade, and it means that daytime viewing, even in bright sunlight, is just a breeze and it is completely easy. So while the display is excellent on the new model, I think one of the most common complaints on the previous generation of the Pixel 6 series was that poor quality optical in-display fingerprint scanner. Luckily though, Google listened to complaints and has finally upgraded this to an ultrasonic scanner on the 9 series, and with that enhanced software-based face unlock, which also does provide a secure biometric backup by the way, the latter can actually be used with secure services like authenticating payments, and the in-display fingerprint scanner is just way more consistent, way more accurate, and a lot faster than the Pixel 6 series, so that could mean you're having less issues, especially with screen protectors and the like. When we start to look at the specifications, though, they're actually not that drastically different, at least when we start to lay them out on paper. The Tensor G4 processor isn't a quantum leap. I know that's not that very nice to hear, but it does offer better thermals and some efficiency boosts. No, the newest Tensor chip doesn't actually top any performance charts, but there should be some noticeable improvements, such as things like image processing time and the overall usability. I can't say for certain if it's just a screen as well thrown in there, but there is a bonus that the maximum RAM has increased to 12GB, but the storage options are identical, and they even use that older UFS 3.1 storage modules. So in terms of speeding of loading and all that kind of stuff, it should be fairly similar, although I will give the edge to the Pixel 9. Mobile connectivity is likely though another area where you'll see a major improvement in this duo. The Pixel 6 modem has been troublesome since launch, and that included the Pro model with dropouts, inconsistent connections, and just poor signal woes, especially when you try to connect to 5G. These are just not concerns with the Pixel 9 series, as you get stable connections, better mobile data speeds, and everything in between. When we look at the software, the Android 15 update is now available for the 6 and the 9 series. Save a few little things here and there though, this is practically identical at its core on this duo. However, the Pixel 9 has a few extra tricks up its sleeve courtesy of some exclusive applications These include Pixel Screenshots, Pixel Studio, and at least until recently, Pixel Weather was bundled in there as well. Gemini is available on the Pixel 6 as well, so the few actual differentiators here are the camera tricks that are available on the newer series, but the core feature set and the lines between these are a little bit blurred. But I will say Android 15 runs beautifully on both of these phones. You do get satellite SOS capabilities alongside some on-device Gemini Nano functionality with multimodality. They're the big talking points for the Pixel 9. The former though is limited to the US at the moment, while the latter isn't really that groundbreaking as yet, as you might have initially thought it might have been. It just lets Gemini understand more context when you use the AI assistant, if you use the AI assistant that is, and I know a lot of people probably won't anyway. Sadly though, Android 15 is now the last update for the Pixel 6. You will be able to use the phone for quite a bit longer though, as security updates are promised for another 2 years on top of this. The only downside I think appears here though is that there's no official plans for Android 16 to come to this device, so it means you're just going to be getting those regular monthly security patches, and maybe we might get a Pixel feature drop in there in between based upon Android 15. Conversely, the Pixel 9 will receive that full gamut of updates for 7 years of its lifespan. That means until 2031. OS releases will be treated the same as monthly patches, which I think is a really good thing. So in theory, that means better value for money, especially as the prices increase, as you get more updates for the price that you pay at the register or on an online checkout. One thing that ties back into the actual hardware is that it's impressive that the Pixel 9 manages to pack in a larger battery than the Pixel 6 series. And in our testing, the 4700 mAh battery versus that 4640 mAh battery on the Pixel 6, it's actually given us a longer lifespan as a result, as you probably would have expected. If you do have an older handset that has been charged and used extensively, you'll no doubt have poorer daily usage capabilities due to the degradation of the battery inside your phone. One kicker here though is that the charging tech hasn't actually changed all that much between this duo in the 3 years since the Pixel 6 was released. It's still listed at 30 watts for the Pixel 9, but you will see a slightly faster 27 watt actual charging speed with a supported USB PD charger. That does mean a marginally quicker 0 to 50% portion of that charging cycle with the Pixel 9. That said, I wouldn't say it's massively far away and far ahead of the Pixel 6. So in terms of charging tech, it's pretty much identical. You have that 30 watt, in air quotes, charging speed via wire, 21 watts via the Pixel Stand 2, and 5 watt reverse wireless charging as well. Another thing that at first glance looks similar is that the Pixel 9 and Pixel 6 camera systems look almost identical. Google though has tweaked and tuned them with new sensors and a few other tweaks and a few nips and tucks here over the past few years, and the quality uptick might be something for you to really think about. Sure, you do get main 50 megapixel sensors, although the newer model has a newer sensor here. You'll get good sharp images across the board. They're really comparable. The Pixel 9 has a little more depth though to those photos with that 50 megapixel main sensor, and I think is able to punch in further to 8x zoom without actually losing any of those fine details in images. The tuning is also a little bit different here that you might notice. The Pixel 6 definitely appears to shift to more warmer tones, while the Pixel 9 does have a cooler look but better handling of things like highlights. It has greater dynamic range, and I do think you do end up with better overall images when using that newer camera. Look beyond the main sensor though, and it gets a bit dicey for the Pixel 6. Sure, I do think it's very capable and a competent system, but it just can't compete with the Pixel 9. The ultra-wide is a massive downgrade. It can only capture 12 megapixel photos versus 48 megapixels on the Pixel 9, although they are pixel bin down. It also has a narrower field of view, so you can't capture in as much in the same frame, which might be important if you want nice landscape photos that are crystal clear throughout that field of view. The selfie camera is also a marginal step up on the Pixel 9 series. The increased resolution does allow for that secure face unlock, but the selfie images, they're fairly similar, although they do look a little bit softer on the Pixel 6. There are also lots of other features that you won't find on the older model, including improved video modes like 10-bit HDR10 recording and even Audio Magic Eraser post-processing for those recordings. There are camera modes in here too as well, like Best Take, Add Me, and more that are likely just won't come to that 2021 base model, given that updates are not guaranteed now. The Pixel 9 camera system just offers improvements across the board, but you must determine if those upgrades are going to be enough for you, as other phones may have seen bigger quantum leaps between 2021 and 2024. So you're wondering, is this upgrade worth it? Well, I think the Pixel 6 and Pixel 9 do share that lineage, but these devices couldn't really be that further apart. For many, the smaller profile and newer device will undoubtedly provide a big welcome change. You do get a lot more bang for your buck with the Pixel 9 as well, I do think, considering it has increased in price to a base $799. It will get an extensive support window with more platform upgrades, so I think it probably doesn't make that as bad as it could seem. It has a superior camera system, superior display, better battery longevity. It also has that vastly improved connectivity and security features like that in-display fingerprint scanner and face unlock, and those are some of the biggest complaints that people leveled at the Pixel 6, and understandably so. I think it's almost a no-brainer if you don't want pro editions like a telephoto lens or a high-resolution screen to upgrade from the Pixel 6 to the Pixel 9. Only one of the downsides though is that the leap from Tensor G1 to the G4 processor probably isn't going to be as pronounced as moving from something like a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 device to the 8 Gen 3, as that particular chip really is impressive. I think if you don't want the Pixel features or Google phone, it's no secret that there are more powerful phones at lower prices out there, and I would point to something like the OnePlus 12 as a good alternative. Even so, the jump from the Pixel 6 to the Pixel 9 is quite a big one in almost all areas, especially for a base model. It's a solid upgrade if you're looking to get a new phone, and I highly recommend it. Tell me what you're thinking though. Have you upgraded from the Pixel 6 to the Pixel 9? Is your cell phone plan or your mobile phone contract coming to an end? Let me know down in the comment sections below what you're planning to do. And a big thank you to our channel members on screen now. Thanks for watching though, and I will speak to you later.